Mayor, say your name and spell it slowly.
Kyle Battie, that's Kyle-E-B-A-T-T-I-E, Commissioner of District 1 and Mayor of the great city of Sarasota.
First and foremost, I want to thank you for your time and let you know it's an honor to have you stop by ABC7, a place you're very familiar with, having produced and hosted a show here. Talk a little bit about Sarasota. It's a city that's near and dear to your heart. Sarasota High, the family values, the roots are literally in the ground. But talk a little bit about the city of Sarasota and what it means to you personally.
Growing up here in Sarasota, I had the best of both worlds for the most part, being born in Jersey City and going back there in the summertime a lot of times. But Sarasota has always had a great space in my heart, and I've always had an affinity for it, no matter how far I've gone or lived in other places or what have you. I can remember times being in New York City and when the walls seemed to sort of close in and constrict, all I could think about was just closing my eyes and sitting up under a tree in a park. And for some reason it was always Gillespie Park when I always thought of that park. And just gathering my thoughts and centering myself, right? But it was always back in Sarasota. So I always thought of and believed that I would move back to Sarasota because it's a beautiful place. It's a place where you know, the values that I still hold true today were instilled in me by both my mother and my father. Never to let circumstances determine and set your path and where you want to be in life. You determine that. Never make excuses. My mother always said, you know, my father as well, excuses only please those that make them. So me and my sister weren't allowed to make excuses. I mean, you can try and explain yourself, but don't make excuses. You know, so, and have expectations for yourself and who you want to be and what you want to be. So I think when you have, you know, those types of tenets ingrained in you, then, you know, you can pretty much set yourself up for life in way of the path that you want to set for yourself, the course that you want to set for your life. And to me, it's all about character, man. And if I don't have anything else in life, I would hope that my character as a person and as a human being stays intact, and that you know, I always place God first. So I just feel so long as I have that as part of my being and at the core of who I am, then I'll be okay.
Mayor, the political arena, the political process, voting, getting involved, speaking up, working with human beings, making life better. Why did you choose that route? And from the inside out, how special is it to work with people and help people and represent people and make things better?
I know that when I initially thought about, you know, entertained the idea of running and or campaigning, it was something that wasn't necessarily in my wheelhouse. I was producing my own show right here in the studios of ABC7 and Fly with Kyle Scott, and even in doing that, I had to consider the sacrifices that would come with campaigning, because I had to put my show to the side and pretty much give up something that I and a number of other people, you know, worked so hard to accomplish and bring to fruition. But I said to myself, hey, you can't complain. You can never, you know, say this or say that, or why isn't this happening or why isn't that happening, because when given the opportunity, you chose to do nothing about it. So that was served as the launching pad for my thinking, if you will, to jump into the political fray, although it was something that I wasn't well versed in or you know, had pretty much any idea about. But you know, I learned and made sure that if I was going to do this, that I was going to do it correctly and do it to the best of my ability. Not saying that I am the best, but I work toward being the best that I can possibly be, and give a great deal of thought to what it is I'm doing, particularly when it comes to the quality of life of other people. That's why it's imperative that, you know, we avail ourselves of the democratic and political process when it comes to voting. So that's how I got here, was, you know, through Change the Date, which allowed everyone the opportunity to get out and have their voices heard and be a part of the process. So, and I take a great deal of pride in that, and because that's what was instilled in me growing up. And, you know, my mother always said, boy, you get out and vote, because people died for your right to do so. So if she tells me that people died for my right to vote, why would I want to have it any other way? I want as many people to have the opportunity to get out and vote as possible. So, you know, it's not about me. It's not about what it is I want. It's about what's in the best interest of the city and what the people want. So I want to make sure that everyone has the quality of life that they so richly deserve in this city and wherever. You know, we should all be feel so blessed to have that opportunity. So.
Sarasota, to represent a district, an area, and to be on the council, and then to be picked, selected to be the mayor. Talk a little bit about that process, how that works. And they saw a lot in you, and they trust in you, and the gentleman said, hey, this is the guy, and they went in your direction. But take us through that process, how that works, and that's got to be a special thing.
Yeah. Again, it wasn't something that was in my wheelhouse. You know, there were people that were looking for a different direction of the city, and a different makeup of the commission and its composition, and asked me what I thought about running. So, you know, I entertained it for a second, ran it through various filters, asked a number of people what they thought about it, the possibility of me running, and I just remember having a conversation with my, you know, great and dear friend, Mr. Nate Jacobs, and I asked him, I said, hey man, what do you think about me running? You think I should do it or can do it? And his you know, advice to me, or what he said to me was, Kyle, why not you? So, you know, that was something that stuck in my mind. And my father, you know, challenging me and saying, you know, I don't know if you want to do that, you know, because you open yourself up to scrutiny and a lot of arrows being slung your way. But, you know, if you have something that you're passionate about, or you see like there can be a change for the better in any way, shape, form, or fashion, in my heart, I feel that you should go for it. And to throw my hand and my hat into the political fray was it was daunting at times, and I tell you what, it was extremely challenging. But we managed, and I said to my campaign manager at the time, I said, hey man, you know, if I choose to do this, just to let you know, like I'm an extremely competitive person, and it's just my nature. And I said, so I'm in it to win it. I don't do anything with the idea of losing. Not saying that it can't happen, but I damn sure don't go into anything with that mind. So I did everything that I could to make sure that that I facilitated that, and my team, we did everything we could to make that happen, and to, you know, following the path of those that have come before me, particularly in District 1. You know, you know, they're shoes that you have to fill, but everyone is their own man and or woman, and you have to make your own mark, and that's with your own vision. So I have my own vision for where I want to be in life, and I have my own vision for what I think Sarasota should be, because Sarasota's in the throes of its own evolution right now, and change is coming. You can't, if there's one constant in life, it's change, and you can't do anything about that. There's no negotiating that. There's no negotiating time. There's no negotiating change. It happens. It's just the natural order of things. And I challenge anyone that looks at it in a different way, and you can sort of, as I think Mayor Brody said, that you can respect the past, but yet at the same time move toward the future. And I look at the words of the great Muhammad Ali, who's one of my heroes, growing up and still to this day, when he said, the man and or woman at 55 that sees the world as they did at 25 has just wasted 30 years of their life. So you should always be embracing of change and embracing of the future, because it's not about me, it's about those that are coming up behind me. We're trying to leave a legacy for them to follow, so that those that are born here, those that have come here can, if they choose to stay here, that there are things for them to do, there are things for them to participate in. The number of initiatives and projects that are coming down the pike, I want to make sure that they're seen, to completion and brought to fruition. Bobby Jones, our municipal park, a golf course like right here in the city, a place where our residents can go and play golf in a beautifully designed golf course done by Richard Mandel, which is a Donald Ross designed golf course. Hey, I don't know much about golf, but from what I've seen, it's going to be a beautiful place. We put 200 acres of that golf course into a conservation easement, never to be built and or developed on. Those things are imperative to the future of the city. Selby Gardens, that's going to be magnificent, and a place where children and adults alike can go and learn about the botanical aspects of life with plants and flowers, and the number of vegetation and the great work that they do over there, and the activities that they have, which is totally and completely embracing of all of the city, and being inclusive. The Bay Project, another piece of art, taking 53 acres and turning it into green space that was once asphalt or concrete. That's transformative, not only for the city of Sarasota, not only for the region, not only for the state of Florida, but like nationally and internationally, because Sarasota has become, that place. So we have all of these projects. I mean, you just saw what happened at Lido Beach with a two-day volleyball tournament that was right there on Lido.